mai kako. This is Kealoha Domingo, and we are here in the sculpture garden at the beautiful Capitol Modern here in downtown Honolulu. And I'd like to introduce my good friend, Rick Barboza.
Aloha. Thanks for having me here today. I'm excited to be here to discuss, different plants that can still be foraged in our islands. A lot of these plants that we have here, some of them are cultivated, but a lot of them are still found in the wild, whether or not they're an invasive plant or an indigenous plant. Both of them, in either case, would make great ingredients for whatever dishes that you guys got to prepare today.
So today we're going to be making a heirloom tomato and Paku fern shoot salad. It has a little bit of sliced local cucumbers, some heirloom cherry tomatoes, slivered onions, dried shrimp, and a Paku fern.
Ho'io haole.
Ho'io haole. This, of course, can be foraged. This is an invasive fern called Paku. Many people in Hawaii call it ho'io or warabi, pohole.
Pohole is the Maui name for our native ho'io, but right. The majority of times when people utilize this fern in recipes, it's harvested from the lowlands, and pretty much safe to say that every lowland population of this fern, which is Diplasium esculentum, is an invasive plant, invasive species. Our native ho'io are usually found at a little bit higher elevations today. We have 3 different species of native ho'io. They're all in the same genus, Diplasium, but we have Diplasium arnatii, Diplasium molokayensis, and Diplasium sandwichiana. However, like I said, most times people are harvesting this invasive species, but incorrectly giving it the Hawaiian name ho'io. So I often accompany the word haole to a lot of these named ingredients, and really all that's showing is that that plant or animal or whatever it is that we're incorporating isn't of Hawaiian origin, and it's to help recognize that there is something else traditionally named, that whatever that name is, like ho'io.
One of the foundations of Hawaiian beliefs, āika, we eat what's available, and we could call this an indigenous food just because of the fact that it's something that we sourced in replacement of our traditional ingredient. So whether you call it Paku, ho'io, or ho'io haole, I call it delicious.
Yeah.
And readily available. So I'm going to show you guys how to prepare this. Because we did forage this from the wild, and we want to take precautions with the possibility of any kind of harmful bacteria or diseases, rat lung.
That's unfortunately a huge problem now in Hawaii with the introduction of rats, because rats aren't native to Hawaii. We had Polynesian rats that were introduced with our ancestors, but the threat really comes with the snails that carry and are the vectors of this parasitic worm, and then transferred on to the foliage of plants that we consume in the wild. And by consuming these types of plants that carry the rat lung worm disease and not washing them thoroughly or not blanching them to kill off that parasite, when you ingest it, you can become deathly ill. So it's a good practice whenever foraging here in these islands to make sure that you wash everything really good, or if you can blanch them.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and blanch this, and you want to make sure the water is at a rolling boil. You can go ahead and salt the water to tastes like seawater. I like to just kind of trim it off. We take the tips off. When you get to these lower stems, they kind of tend to be woody, so you want to treat it like you would asparagus, and make sure you're not getting like a thick fibrous part of that stem. So I'm just going to pop it in there really quickly, give it a little stir on. I'd say 30 seconds, but I keep an eye on it, make sure it gets it'll turn a nice bright green, and when it gets there, I go straight into the ice water and give it a nice plunge. Make sure you stop that cooking right away. Just, we want to keep it that bright green color. So next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this sauce. So what I have here is some honey. That'll be my base, and then I'm adding half a cup of it's a spiced vinegar. You can get that at your Asian market, and then I like to have a little touch of some kind of hot sauce. Today I'm using a little bit of sriracha. This is absolutely to taste. I like to have a little bit of bite, so I used about a tablespoon there. Kind of want to get it nice and incorporated into everything, mixed up. So right now I'm slicing some white onions. I try to slice some really thin, just so that you don't have that big bite of onion, but it does have a nice little crunch and flavor to add to the salad. So these are some very non-native heirloom tomatoes. You can use your SNAP card. You can get them at most grocery stores. I like them because they're so colorful. They provide, something for the eyes to eat. So I put it in the lid of a deli cup because I'm lazy, and I use a serrated knife, and I like to just cut them all like this.
That's pretty cool.
Just something to speed up the process. And yeah, I have all these sliced tomatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and add these tomatoes right into the sauce because that way I'll save on the dishes. And I'm gonna go ahead and add this onion. And again, you can adjust this recipe however you want because not everyone is a big fan of onions. And then we'll add in some little mini cucumbers that are grown here in Hawaii. Absolutely not native, absolutely not.
And onions we call aka'akai.
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 Haole. Because we do have a native plant called aka'akai, and it's a giant bulrush. And when green onions were introduced into Hawaii, they were given the name aka'akai because they looked like our native bulrush, or the great bulrush.
So that was one mini cucumber. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a nice little mix up. Get it all covered in there. A little bit of finished salt. So one of the fun things that we do, we're gonna combine, and this is just a Chinese dried shrimp that's really popular here in Hawaii. You can get it at most grocery stores or in Chinatown. Let's go ahead and just kind of drench it in this sauce for a little bit and just rehydrate it for a couple seconds at least.
So the shrimp was something that was commonly, or opai was commonly eaten with the ho'i'o fur.
Exactly.
Every story I feel like that has kane and kanaloa or menehune, that's what they always want to eat is opai and ho'i'o.
And of course, it won't be a fern shoot salad without the fern shoot. Get all that water out. It doesn't dilute your flavor. I like to leave it on top because it's so pretty. So pretty.
And the fact that we can forage these plants, so much money and effort has been spent in our state's budget to control invasive species. And really, they're so beyond our capacity to try and manage them and control them in a lot of cases. But, there's that saying, right? If you can't beat it, eat it. And so if we get everybody out there, eating all of our invasives, then maybe we'll have a chance at slowing their spread and helping the reintroduction of our native species.
I'm gonna finish off with a little drizzle of that dressing just to make sure we got flavor on everything, a little bit of finished salt, just a little bit of flake salt just for a nice pop. And that's it. This is our heirloom tomato and
ho'i'o haole and opai pake.
right on.